Are you tired of hearing mental health from a superficial view and want to hear about realistic views? Well, you come to the right place, a space where healing is central, but also normalized. Your hosts, Danica and Myra, who are in the mental health field, will explore topics that help promote healing in your everyday life. Through our podcast, you will get the real and the work to focus on your healing. Welcome to Black Women Healing Podcast. All right, so we are back with another episode of Black Women Healing Podcast, and today is a great episode because my sister is a guest. I'm so happy. And so basically, we're going to start off with a little discussion question. So me and Myra will talk, and we'll kind of invite you in. So Myra, do you think that we are supposed to be in a romantic relationship with more than one partner at the same time?
When you say we, who are you talking about? Because if we say me, no. Okay, so this is interesting because you know who Sham Booty is? I told you about her. She talks about like sex and relationships.
Yeah.
So she was talking about how, I don't know what the word is. I would have to look on her Instagram and tell you, but there's a word for people who only really feel connected to people when they like actually know them and they've like taken the time to grow a relationship with them. So for me, no, but for some people, yes. Like I have close friends who they identify as polyamorous and it works for them. And I'm like, great. But when they tell me their stories, I'm like, I could not see that being me. So I don't think it would work for me. What about you?
For me, I guess you can say I've been conditioned to want to have this monogamous one person relationship. I think that it just thinking about that many people romantically just makes me tired just thinking about it. I can't even think about my own little feelings. And better yet, get into one person romantic relationship. You want me to have more than one? Mm-hmm. Like, yo, it just seems like way too much. But I also do spend like a lot of like research and just following like different pages of like polyamory, polygamy relationships, and how it goes. They go back to show like technically we were meant to be like with more than one person, like this innate type of feeling and all these little things. But I guess you can say I've been conditioned and I'm fine with it. It's certain things that that we're conditioned and you either accept it or you don't. And I accept the monogamous. I'd rather be with one person at one time. What about you, Nisha?
I most definitely would rather be with one person at one time if that's what I'm doing at the time. I don't know. I have moments where I can have a few friends, but I'm not able to gain feelings for anybody more than the next or anything like that. But as far as like really dating somebody and we're doing everything, I can only balance one. That's more than enough. It's a job.
Y'all think if we were more conditioned to be used to this balance of more than one person, that your thoughts would be different?
Wait, say it again?
If you were like, let's say, because I feel like we're all conditioned to like this monogamous relationship, like that's what you're supposed to do. Do you feel like if from the start you were introduced to polyamory versus this, what do you think like you would lean toward? Or do you think your thoughts would be different?
I think my thoughts would be way, way different. I couldn't even, I don't know. I can't even say what I would even think like, because I couldn't even imagine. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. I would be polyamorous out here. I think so. I do, because especially when we're taught about like romantic relationships, I think those are the things that we most definitely like center and learn even closer to us, and it becomes more tied into us.
Well, yeah.
So from when you're first born and you see the parentals is usually two people. Just imagine being born and it was 3 or 4 people there, and those were considered your parents. Yeah. It would become more normal to you, and just growing up knowing that like all your relationships, mainly like your romantic relationships, are more than one person. I think I think it would be more accepted, and I think it would be more accepted for myself too, because I would be so used to dealing with more than one person at a time. I ain't
Well,
used
yeah.
to that. I'm not used to that. I can't. Yeah. So, what you think, Myra?
I just think I would have the fear of jealousy, because when I'm in a relationship with somebody, I want you all to myself. I don't want to think that anything else is going on. So I think in that situation, they'll probably be like, oh, she's just dominating everything, because I feel like I would take over everything and everybody would be praising me. So now I still think I don't be able to do it just because of that part. Because I feel like innate.
You would learn how to deal with the jealousy. Like jealousy, even with the thought of jealousy for us when it comes to romantic relationship is taught as well. Like you would be taught differently of how to deal with it. And I think, it would become more, you would fit, I don't know. Some people do have like those more innate, like jealous traits. Mm-hmm. So maybe you'll be the jealous like girlfriend of the part of the of the of the polyamorous relationship.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So you think you still would be like, nope, I'd rather have one.
Yeah, I just don't think I could do it. But you know what? You never know until it happens to you. So
let me find out, Myra. But all right. So that was just a little discussion question. So now I get to officially introduce my sister. Danisha Brown is a patient care coordinator for Amerisource Bergen. Is that how you pronounce it?
Bergen.
Okay. She is 30 years old with 3 amazing children, my nieces and nephews. She is also a dental assistant and has her associates in healthcare management. She is currently trying to pursue her modeling career. She is currently pursuing her modeling career. My bad, not trying. We ain't doing that. She is currently pursuing her modeling career, a dream she has had since she was a young child. She's smart, outgoing, very sweet, family-oriented, and loves just to love. So, Danisha, tell us a little bit about yourself and your favorite things to do during quarantine.
Okay. Let's see. About myself, I feel like I'm a little of a perfectionist at heart, but I'm never afraid to learn and improve in anything. So, yeah, that's pretty much just who I am really in any area. As far as the quarantine has went, it's funny because I'm the type of person that already quarantines before the quarantine. So it's really hasn't changed. It's nothing different for me besides the fact that now they're making you stay in the house. And I was doing that at first, but it's the fact that I have to or something mentally. It was just mentally. But me and my kids, we quarantine every year, so all year. It's bad. I mean, we go places, but we prefer home. We do a lot together at home. We just,
Mm-hmm. For sure. Okay. I have to ask, what is your sign? Because you're like, I like to be like a perfectionist low key, but at the same time, I have room for growth. What is your sign?
I am a Virgo.
I know nothing about signs. Why'd I even ask that? Okay. So I think I learned that Virgos are perfectionists but work hard. I thought you were saying like a sign that I was familiar with. Plot twist.
Capricorn.
Really? What sign are you?
A Capricorn. So I thought you were going to say a Capricorn because they're generally like hardworking.
So she the same way.
Wow. I'm very compatible with the Capricorn. Capricorns is very compatible with Virgos. Like, we're really good together.
Nice. Okay. So as y'all have probably grasped today, we're going to be talking about Black women and gaining support as a single parent. So I kind of wanted to kick off the conversation and ask you about your definition of a single parent, because people have different views on what a single parent is. So how would you define it?
I feel like a single parent, a lot of people, when they think of that, they always think of just women. And there's a lot of men that are single parents, just like we are. And actually, I feel like they may struggle a lot more because they are men. Even though they're, taking up the responsibility, they're still, especially our Black men, they're not, they don't they're not educated. They don't even know the resources. And a lot of women, even as single parents, we don't, either. But to me, it's an individual that is taking care of children, like alone, or maybe someone's there and they're part-time, or they only support financially, or maybe it's the other way around. It's a lot of different ways to be considered a single parent to me.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think one of the things that kind of came up, because even like in studies and like research, when they say study a single parent, it means anybody who's not like living in the same household. Like even if some like they would like, that's why some of the statistics be off. Even if the person is like, say, somebody was married and then they divorced. If y'all live in two different households, technically y'all both considered a single parent. Even if one is helping take care of the other more than just part-time, it's still technically like a single parent. So I think it's like interesting, like the research that's out there. But my immediate thought process when I hear single parent, I think of somebody who's not getting a lot of support from the other like parent. That's for sure what I think about. But it's just interesting. So
yeah,
I just had a little comment.
that makes me think about like all the different views on single parents. Because when I think of single parent, I think as one single person that has no help. And so we talked about like the research portion. Me and my mom used to butt heads because she would always say she was a single mom. And I'd be like, how are you a single mom when my dad has me like half of the week and he gives me like 3 times the money that you actually spend on me. And then he buys me things. Like, I don't understand how that's a single parent. So I think she was going based off of the research, but we were always butt heads about that because I was like, I'm not understanding. Like, and you got my grandma helping you? Like, what? So, okay. Y'all laughing at me, but I'm serious. So our next question we wanted to ask, do you think there's an increase in Black women single parents over the last 20 years?
Absolutely. Even before, like, I'll be 31 Friday, by the way, but even before, like, I'm the second oldest, but my parents have always been together. But in the community that I lived in, I was an oddball, even though that's normal. It's supposed to be, normal, but no, it hasn't been normal in a long time. So it's like usually when you think about it, like the logical way, you'll think, okay, the people that don't have both parents, in a household, that's not, right. You're not getting both everything that you need. It's not built for that. It's built for two people. So they looked at us like we were crazy, but we were looking at them like, no, this is, right. But I get it. It's because we've all became used to that. Like even mothers, like we've learned to be so strong that we won't just deal with anything just because I have a child with someone or something like that. Like we'll just do it on our own and walk away. But I would say like the older ones, they literally like are married for their whole life and got married when they were 15 and got 15 kids and they're still together. You know what I mean? Like, and that's because, I mean, in a marriage, you go through things and you have to be able to, I guess they believe, sticking it in, because we have kids and that's just what we have to do. But over the 20 years, yeah, it's over.
So basically like the younger generation of parents are more prone to be like, I'm not going to stay in something if it's not happy and fulfilling, satisfying for me, because they recognize, I think because they recognize that it's not good for the children actually.
Yeah.
Versus 20 years ago, like you just said, they stay married no matter through thick and thin. It could be absolutely horrible. It could be miserable, but for the kids, we got to stay together for the kids. And then a lot of times those kids who were brought up in 2-parent households, they be, going through issues like, not understanding affection because they didn't see their parents having it, not understanding relationships in general because they seen this unhappy like union supposedly, right?
Yeah.
So it's like women nowadays are more prone to walk away. But also I hear you talk about this like independent thing of I'll just take care of my kid myself. All right. What do you think that's about?
I'm one of those. Okay, so I
Okay.
am. I'm her. Um, what got me like that though is even though my parents are together, my mom is a strong woman by herself. And it's no doubt, like, she's a strong woman. So one, I had that role model. Like, even how she's so headstrong in a relationship, but I can see her, you know, not in a relationship, and I don't think it would have been any different,
Yeah.
other than having to go over there or, that part. But um I don't know why I'm like that. I think it takes less time for me to figure it out on my own real fast than to go asking all these people. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know why when thinking about that question, my mind didn't even go to like families and households and marriages. My mind went to the killings of black men and the black women not even able to make it through their pregnancies because they're not being treated fairly in the hospital. And that's been heavy on my mind lately because I'm looking at like a lot of these dads that have been taken away, and then I see their kids. And granted, no father should be taken away, but the kids we're seeing are really kids. Like, I haven't seen no kids as a teenager. There have been kids that have been taken
Babies.
away. Yes, babies. And that's even making me think about, like, wow, like, you didn't even choose to leave a marriage. You were killed. And that's why this mother is now a single mother. And then with the single fathers, these black women are not being treated fairly in these hospitals, so they're left with no choice to not have a life. They're leaving the hospital where it's just the child and now the father. So that's where my mind went on that question. I didn't even think about the marriage part.
Yeah, no, I think it's most definitely both of them. I think, to be honest, my viewpoint is more of like an old school viewpoint, and
Mm-hmm.
what you're saying is it's always been there, but it's just coming to the light more. Like, there's always been
Yeah.
black men dying. There's always been black women, dying in childbirth, but it's just we're talking about it more. So I'm really glad you brought that up. That's so true.
For sure.
Okay, so Danisha, what do you think are the top struggles for single parents? And you can speak for your about yourself in general if you don't want to speak in general about everybody.
Sure. Um, Once again, me and my kids, we are usually, together. Um, I would say for me, it's just really time management. Um, Trying to do what needs to be done and for yourself and for everything to kind of keep running, but you also still have to tend to the needs of your children as well. So like right now, I would say for me, it's being able to find the time to juggle everything. Like I work from home, I work like weird odd hours. Now my children are in school. I have two. I have a one in seventh grade and one that's in pre-K. And I work until 7 p.m., so and I'm working on the phone. And it's very difficult because how can I be a teacher to two children in totally different brackets in this on the school district or level of like even teaching or work that they're doing, and then I have another child. Like it's just a lot. I would just say for me, if I had like another me and me, I would be all right.
Wait,
Like
you
just
need
another
three?
me.
You need three yous or two?
No, just one more, just me and one more me. I would be like, we would be doing, oh man, like my kids probably would be the smartest kids in the world. If I could have two, oh man.
Okay, so time management seems to be like the main struggle as a single parent for you, that you would say.
Yeah, I mean, I had other struggles, but right now that's where I am. I've learned a lot of stuff on the way to get to here where I'm just worrying about time. But prior to, it was a lot more than just, time. I just learned to adapt. And down here, I don't complain about a lot, as you see. I'm complaining about time, not other people helping. I've came to self, like, my kids, they need me.
Mm,
And
yeah.
that's the only thing I'm worrying about is time for them. Like everything else is just, don't worry about that kind of stuff anymore.
Yeah, anymore. So you feel like over the years as a single parent, you kind of get used to being a single parent.
Yeah, you adapt. Well, I know it sounds really bad, but you adapt to it. I mean, I know a lot of women that has adapted to it. Like, I got 3, but I know women that got more than 3, and I see them with 5 kids, and I'm like, how do you do that? Like, everybody's dressed all nice and neat. Everyone's hair is cut, and you look nice, and your car is clean. Like, my car is dirty. Like, I don't have this. But, like, it's okay. I got 3 children. But I see some that they carry it so well. They do. So you adapt. One day I'll be where they are. So
For sure. I had a question. So in doing my little research, because I like to do research, I've come across a lot of like, when it comes to like mental health in single moms, a lot of the research talks about anxiety. And I didn't go into depth about what the anxiety is around. And then they talk a little bit about depression too, like feeling like you're alone. I was wondering on your behalf, like, have you ever felt anything where you're just like, you know what, I'm just not feeling this, like mental health needs to get in check? Like, have you ever had any of those moments, and how did you push yourself through those moments?
yeah, it started for me when I was pregnant with my first child in 2008. Um, I started having really, really, really bad like anxiety attacks in like weird places, and like it was really bad where I would have to like lay down in the middle of the mall because yeah, I've passed out before where I didn't get down fast enough because you have to like lay down really fast or something or you'll pass out. It was really, really bad. After I had my son, I remember actually I had one day while I was driving, but my sister happened to be with me, thank God. Uh, I never really have been able to put my finger on what is causing it. I always like, well, now that I'm older and I know how to like to control it a lot better, I try to think like, what happened? Why am I here? Like, how did I get here? What's going on? It's very hard to identify. I promise, like, I'm still struggling with that. Like, I still don't know what brings it on, what triggers. I still cannot. I've been talking, I've talked to people, everything, and I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's a lot because I got children. So it's a lot, it's a lot on one person. So you will find yourself stressed out. A lot of women go through depression. I'm one of them. I've been on medicine and all type of stuff, but I still never been able to identify what was going on. Like everything could be okay. Like my bills are paid, my kids eat, everything's taken care of, but maybe I'm doing too much. Maybe it's just a lot on one person. It's supposed to be on more than one person. It's supposed to take a village anyways. So you're playing a village by yourself. That's a lot for any individual. And I think a lot of women deal with it secretly, because mine's is secretly. I like a lot of people don't know that I have panic attacks or anything like that. And there may be a reason why I stay in the house so much, because it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. So I just rather do it at home, and I don't have company really. It's yeah.
Thank you for sharing that, because I feel like these are not conversations that are being had. Like people talk about like, yeah, time management. I know you talked about time management. I'm not shading, but
no. It's
a lot
fine.
of podcasts I hear and a lot of things I read are like time management. And I'm that person where I'm just like, yeah, y'all say this time management stuff, but what happens when you can't manage your time? And what happens in these other times where we're not talking about schedules and agendas and things that we have to do? Because life is happening outside of these things that we need to be talking about. Because like you said, you're basically doing it in the dark. Imagine how many other women are doing in the dark. And then now they hear this and they're just like, oh, wow, somebody actually can relate to me. This is what I actually need to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, it's most definitely when I think about anxiety in general, and I'm not even thinking about all the components just of like yourself. So before you even have any children, anxiety is there. It could be there for anybody. Well, technically we all go through anxious moments, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so then I think about having children and just being anxious all the time about your children, like worried
You're
about the worst
scared.
for
Yeah.
them. You know, you just because that's what anxiety is, like this fear, right, of the unknown, pretty much. And you know, when you pregnant, you know, I think about this. I ain't even been pregnant. I feel like, I wonder, you know, is my baby gonna come out okay? What if I fall down a steps, type of thing? And that's the thing that creates anxiety, stuff like that too. You just think of the worst. And
Yeah.
so then having anxiety for yourself, but now having it for 3 whole nother like humans, that is a lot. Yeah.
I mean, my stomach dropped.
I know. See, I'm sorry. See what I'm saying? But yeah, no, thank you so much, Nisha, for being vulnerable and talking about this.
Sure.
Can you give a few examples of how you have gained support as a single parent, especially quarantine?
I got my 2 people that I call when I feel like I'm having, you know, a breaking point, which would be, of course, you, my sister, and my mom. I really don't talk to that many people. I'm a writer. I'm not gonna lie. I write my thoughts. I write my stuff. Um, Another reason why I do that is because a lot of stuff that I be going through and I be worried about too. It's not just even with just myself. I'm a very loving, caring, nurturing type of person. Like, and sometimes it's a downfall for me because I find myself stressed out about other people's problems, or because these are people that I love. So it made me be the type of person to not really try to tell others so much about me hurting in whatever way, you know, unless I'm to that point. I know when I need to like crack, but because it can be stressful on the next person. Like, you know what I mean? It can really be stressful for somebody else. But those are really the only 2 people I really talk to. Like I said, I write, I listen to music, and I just kind of just like talk myself through stuff. I read. I'm a very big reader. Like she said, I'm always Googling everything if I want to know something or see something and want to know more. So I don't know. And my kids, they remind me every day that it's gonna be all right. We got this, one day at a time. I'm learning and they learning with me. So, and they understand that. It's one thing. Like, it don't matter how many mistakes I make. Like, my kids, they understand. It's okay. It's all right. So.
Do you have a go-to like song where you like, yes, this song, like it just helps me make it through my day or uplift your spirits?
Right now, I know y'all gonna laugh, but I like that Chris Brown song. Was it Go Crazy?
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah, I like will listen to that on repeat. But y'all gonna laugh, y'all. But I'm more of a like, y'all, I like Mary Mary.
I'm not laughing.
Yeah, I'm not laughing either. I'm like, where's the joke?
No, okay, y'all like that too?
Yeah.
Y'all like Mary Mary, the sisters?
Yeah, so my mom, just a little background about her. She really struggled with her health and she had a brain tumor. Well, she still has a brain tumor. And she will always, like, she'd be having rough days. And I'm like, well, what is going on? So she would start playing, you know, Shackles Off My Feet.
Yes.
They trying to be, and they be like, show it's hot out here. And I always be like, what's about to happen? And then here she goes singing every single word. So, like, from my childhood up until being an adult, my mom will always sing like Mary Mary songs, but that was her favorite.
Yes, low key. My friends, some of them know, and I'll just start, you know, bopping, and they like, girl, why are you playing this right now? But oh well.
I like that you write too. That's dope. Do you
You
have
like what?
I like that you write too. Like that's
Oh
dope
yeah.
because like when you pass away, you'll have all these writings for your kids to read about you. And like I've been hearing like a lot of different stories about people being like, yeah, such and such, like my parent, they passed away, but they left like all these writings to me. And even thinking about like my aunt, she recently passed away and I had her diary. And at first I was like, this is weird. But now, like, I've been reading, like, it's a novel. It's juicy. It's good. And I just love
Yeah.
being able to read her thoughts. So that's dope that you write. I love that.
I never even thought about it, about, in that type of way that my kids one day will be able to read how crazy I really am.
Yeah. Like, when they become adults, you could give it to them. Like, that's something like my mom did. Like, she gave me some of hers. So when I became an adult, and I said, oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because you can probably learn from it, like watching them go through the mistakes or whatever they're going through. Like, okay, I know I don't want to have 5 boyfriends because my mom couldn't handle it. I know I can't handle it.
Right.
I'm done. That is hilarious.
So we're going to close off with any takeaways. Do you have any takeaways for our people?
Sure. If you are a single parent, and that means man or woman, don't give up. Just don't give up. Once again, if I don't know something, I will Google it. If you Google, you will find different resources. You'll find like any answer that you need. There's groups, there's all type of resources, there's people that get together that just help each other with this type of stuff. I mean, there's babysitting clubs. I don't Google it. We got you. That's what we're here for. We're supposed to be a village, and it's okay to allow people to help. Like I said, I'm a perfectionist, but I'm not afraid to improve. And just kind of remember that sometimes it's not criticism, it's love.
I like that. Now I understand where Danica gets her personality from. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining our episode this week, and we look forward to having you again.
Sure. Well, thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity.
So, yeah, this episode was really great. It's always dope to like have family members and people who are like in close circles come on, because they have so many prominent. Is that the word I'm looking for? They just have a lot of good information. So, but so Myra, I stood up and Myra seen my little waist beads, y'all, and she was like, "Oh, talk about your little waist beads." So I'm not gonna lie, I'm not like super into it. I literally got these to monitor weight loss. Literally, that's it. I don't know exactly everythh, but one of my friends, she sells them, and so her Instagram is at _ ECINAHHS. Oh, _ ECINAHS. And the waist beads, she shows the different meanings of them, like before you buy them, and all of that. She does it for you. But I literally got them to just monitor my weight loss and monitor my weight gain too, because it been real. So that's pretty much it. Marva, you got any reflections or anything else you want to talk about?
I just want to thank your sister, because I feel like oftentimes, like, and this is just a thing I point out at people, and I got to work on doing this. I'll notice people will paint beautiful pictures, and that's great. I love hearing that. But I want to hear about like the raw pieces, the pieces that you don't really want to share, but you should share. And I'm happy that she took it there, because I always try to push people to do that in like my own little way. But she caught on to it and she went there, and I'm super thankful for that, because I feel like the conversation that we had is one that was needed. And I like the way that we flowed in the conversation. I liked her vulnerability and her honesty, and her really telling us like some raw, vulnerable moments that I don't know that I'd be comfortable sharing. So I'm just thankful for that. It's just a reminder of vulnerability and where it can get you, where it can take you, and what it could do for others. So I'm feeling thankful and grateful for that conversation. It made me feel a little light for some reason. I don't know why, but I liked it.
Yeah, it's the real and raw truth.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks everybody for listening to another episode of Black Women Healing Podcast. Whatever platform you're listening on, please like, review, rate, subscribe, all that good stuff, and continue connecting with us on all of our social media platforms.
All right, y'all. That's it for this week's episode, and stay tuned for new episodes.